The Bahamas is open for travel and business, but with COVID-19 cases rising every day, what does this mean for visitors planning on traveling to the country? Well, I'll explain on the other side. Hello kitties and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rogan and this is This Bahamian Gyal. I'm your unofficial official guide to all things Bahamas and DC. So I've gotten a lot of questions from subscribers and some people who just visited my channel for the first time, and they want to know what's going on in the Bahamas. Is it safe to go there right now considering that cases are still rising and we are still in the throes of a pandemic? And so I thought I'd do a video this week because I've gotten quite a number of those questions in recent weeks. So I'm going to take this step by step and I'm going to try to get through some of the questions that you guys had, and I wrote down some of the questions because I'm sure other people as well who are planning to travel to the Bahamas have similar questions. So we'll just take it step by step. And before I get started, guys, I hope that you guys notice the disclaimer at the beginning, because this thing is evolving every single day, every single minute. And so the information contained in this video may be outdated in a few days, a week, whatever. So you have to please, if you're planning on traveling to the Bahamas, make sure that you stay plugged into bahamas.com, and I'll put everything down below as well in the description box and throughout the video, because that's really going to be the resource that you use. Because like I said, the situation is evolving by the minute. So things may change overnight. And I don't want you to go off of this information and it's not correct when you're traveling. But up to now, it is absolutely correct. So one of the first questions that I've gotten is, hey Rogan, I've been vaccinated. My 2-week period has passed. I'm good to go. No symptoms, no anything. I'm ready to travel to the Bahamas, but I'm still hearing that people are saying I have to take the PCR test and the rapid antigen test. Is that correct? No, that is not correct. Absolutely not correct. As long as you are fully vaccinated, you do not have to do any tests prior to coming into the Bahamas or while in the Bahamas. You do still have to apply for the health visa. That's mandatory to enter the country, but you will not have to do any of the testing that you had to do before you were being vaccinated. For those individuals who are not vaccinated, they have to apply for the health visa, make sure that they have the PCR, COVID-19 PCR test within a certain time frame, and if they're going to be staying there for longer than 4 nights and 5 days, they have to do the rapid antigen test while in the Bahamas. So if you're going to be there for 10 days, you're definitely going to have to do that test. And I think it's very important too to note that the Bahamas government is only accepting the following vaccines. Like if you've been vaccinated, they're only going to accept AstraZeneca, Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson. I think that's it. Let me just double check. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't know if there's any. Those are the ones that I've heard of. So I don't know if there are others, but those are the ones that I've known. When I say I don't know if there are others, I mean I don't know if there are other vaccines in the world, but those are the ones that I've constantly heard about, and those are the ones that they're accepting: Moderna, AstraZeneca, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson. So as long as you've been vaccinated with any one of those vaccines, you're good to go. Unvaccinated travelers, for you guys who say I'm not getting any vaccine but I still want to come to the Bahamas, okay, you can do that, but here are the requirements. You have to follow the entry requirements. You of course have to get the health visa like I talked about. You have to provide proof of a negative PCR test no more than 5 days prior to arrival in the Bahamas. No more than 5 days. And again, if you're staying longer than 4 nights and 5 days, I know that sounds so awkwardly worded, but 4 nights and 5 days, then you have to do the rapid antigen test while you're there. So if you're going to be there for 6 days, 7 days, 10 days, 14 days, whatever it is, you're going to have to do that antigen test. And on top of that, you're going to have to fill out a health questionnaire every single day. So if you're traveling with 5 people in your party, all 5 of you is going to have to answer those questions every single day. I had to do that before I was vaccinated when I went back home to the Bahamas. And it's so tedious, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I mean, it's not super long, but you know, nobody wants to wake up every single day and have to fill that out. So if you're traveling with family, just know that everybody's gonna have to fill out this questionnaire every single day. I would also advise you guys to be very tuned into the news. Or if you're staying at a resort, just kind of check in with the front desk and say, is there any changes? Because it is a fluid situation, so things could change overnight. And I know that the emergency order should be finished in a few weeks, but the Prime Minister, he has the leeway. He could extend them even further, for a few more months. So it doesn't matter. So if you're not prepared to watch the news to just get updates, just check in with like the front desk of your hotel, your resort, whatever, and just ask them, is there anything that we need to know? Are we still good? And if you're staying at an Airbnb or at someone's house or whatever, then it's gonna be incumbent upon you to make sure that you're checking to make sure that everything is kosher. But so far, so good. The same things apply as if you were in the United States, Canada, anywhere else, and you're not vaccinated. You want to make sure that you're social distancing. You want to make sure that you're wearing your masks. There is a mask policy in the Bahamas. I understand that there are tourists who aren't abiding by the mask policy. They say they're fully vaccinated and they're moving about their business, and nothing has happened to them. They've not been stopped by police or anything like that. So I would say it's best, just if they have a mask policy, to wear the mask in public. But again, just use your discretion when you're there. If you see police aren't, harassing anybody if they're wearing their mask, then by all means, then follow suit. But it's all for your safety as well. If you're not vaccinated and you're in a country where the COVID numbers are rising, it's just logical that you will not want to put yourself at risk. So the rest of the world seems to be getting back to normal, and that's because a lot of them are vaccinating. But for the Bahamas, the numbers aren't very, very promising. Right now, we've run out of vaccines in the country, and so a lot of people are still unvaccinated. And there are lots of Bahamians who have received their first dose, but they have not gotten their second dose. And so when the vaccines do come in the country, and I believe they said by the end of July, end of this month, those individuals who are requiring their second dose will more than likely be the first in line to get that. And then, of course, they'll start vaccinating other people. But there's still a lot of conspiracy theories on the ground. And so a lot of Bahamians are very apprehensive about getting vaccinated. That's still a big... It's an uphill battle for the government to get people on board to vaccinate, because they're just very skeptical about it. A lot of people feel like the vaccine was rushed, and so they just don't want to fool with it. But I'm hopeful that when this next batch comes, that Bahamians will vaccinate. So this is very important for you guys if you're traveling there and you've only had your first dose. I don't know if you want to wait until maybe perhaps you get your second dose before traveling internationally, because anything could happen. But if you are still unvaccinated or you have no intentions of being vaccinated, please make sure that you're wearing your mask and social distancing. A good friend of mine just recently told me that she got COVID, and a relative of mine got COVID as well, and it's no joke. Please keep that in mind, that you are in a population with a lot of people who are unvaccinated, and the COVID case numbers are increasing. And I will put that inside the video so you can see some of the numbers, how things are trending, and we've had quite a number of deaths as a result of the virus. So this is no joke. If you're going to go to the Bahamas, and I'm grateful if you do go to the Bahamas, but I more than that, I want you guys to be safe when you're in my country, because you do not want to get sick in a foreign country. You do not want to get sick in a foreign country. Right now, the major main hospital, the Princess Margaret Hospital, I recently read, is at capacity. It's at capacity, and so you don't want something to happen to you and you need medical care, and that's a public hospital, and you can't get it, or you can't get it in a timely fashion when you're really ill. So I would suggest you definitely make sure that you're social distancing and you're wearing your mask. Or even if you want to go to the Bahamas, and I'm grateful for you to go to the Bahamas, wait until you've gotten vaccinated, gotten your second dose, and you're completely vaccinated, and then go on over. And I would feel much more secure for your safety, and if you moved in that direction. Another question that I got from some of my subscribers was, are things closed? Like if I go downtown, is everything going to be shut down? Now, if you watch one of my old videos, I talked about how things shut down at a certain time, but right now the downtown area is open, you can certainly go there. If you're traveling to Nassau, you know, you can go to Nassau and Paradise. Pardon me. If you're traveling to Nassau, you can go to Paradise Island. Everything is open over there. You're staying at the hotels. Everything should be really good. There are restaurants that are open, so you can definitely enjoy the beaches, the facilities. Everybody's being safe as far as the facilities are concerned. Another question that I got was, is there a curfew? Yes, there is a curfew. It's at 11 p.m. So by 11 p.m., everybody should be indoors, shouldn't be on the streets, shouldn't be on the beaches or anything like that. We don't have like parks that close or beaches that close in the Bahamas. And that's one thing I do miss about my country, because things shut down here in DC at a certain time. You can't be on a beach or in certain parks, that sort of thing. But you know, it's not uncommon typically to see people pulled up to the beach at 2 o'clock in the morning or at midnight, you know, having a snack on the beach or whatever, have their car parked by the beach. But now with the curfew being 11 o'clock p.m., everybody has to be indoors. So yes, there is a curfew. It's 11 o'clock p.m. and you have to abide by it. Someone said to me, if Bahamians aren't very keen on vaccinating and they are working in the hotels and they're working in the restaurants, how does that work? You know, because they're going to be serving us food and that sort of thing. Well, those individuals have to constantly do rapid tests. And I can't speak for every single establishment, restaurant or hotel, but I know that the respected ones definitely require their staff to do regular tests as a means of coming into work. Like, you have to get tested constantly. If you're not going to get a vaccine, then you have to pass your COVID-19 test in order to work in the facility. And even then, there's still social distancing going on as much as possible. And staff, of course, have to wear masks, you know, while they're serving members of the public. So there shouldn't be an issue there. Again, but you still take precaution to make sure you're wearing your mask. And if you have questions, ask. You know, just say, I want to see the manager. You know, are the majority of your staff vaccinated? They say no. It's like, just ask. What's the precaution? I ask people all the time. You know, like if I have a concern, if I see somebody didn't look like they washed their hands or anything like that, like I make sure to ask, because at the end of the day, you can't be worried about perception or how people are going to be offended. This is your health we're talking about. You want to make sure that you're eating from an establishment where people seem like they're doing the right thing. And again, watch when you go out. Just be very observant. Of course, you can't see in certain people's kitchens, but you will know establishments that are credible and reputable, and you know they value their reputation. They're not going to want to put anybody in jeopardy. But a lot of these, and I know a lot of restaurateurs who say, like, I make the staff take these tests every week. If you're not going to get vaccinated, you definitely got to do these tests every week, because you're serving members of the public and they don't want any issues. So in that regard, they are taking precaution in the Bahamas. Someone asked me, is it safe to go to the beach, considering that, you know, we're still in a COVID-19 environment? Actually, I remember reading a medical report that said being on the beach is probably poses like one of the lowest transmission rates for COVID-19. And of course, I'm talking to the individuals who are unvaccinated. If you're vaccinated, you should be fine. And it's not about even being in the water, it's just about being around crowds. The majority of Bahamians tend to go to the beach on holidays. They see the beach every single day, so it's not like oh, there's the beach. It's not a big deal for them because they get to see that every single day. But the holidays are when they go out to the beach in droves. And so I think, you know, in that instance, if you're unvaccinated, then you definitely need to be careful and really be going out of your way to socially distance from other people, to social distance from other people, because you don't want to be right up in a crowd of people, many of whom are probably unvaccinated. So just be careful about that. Someone asked me, like, how does the Bahamas stack up against other countries as far as their vaccination is concerned, like the vaccine numbers, how many people are being vaccinated? And actually, the Bahamas is near the bottom when it compares to like other countries in the Caribbean region. And that's primarily, again, because we have a lot of conspiracies on the ground. And there are people who just are like, I'm not fooling with this vaccine. I don't know anything about it. And it just seemed like it was a little too rushed. I don't want to get a vaccine, so they don't want to do it. But as it compares to like other countries like Canada and the UK and Israel, they're around like the 70% mark. 70% of their populations are already vaccinated, which is pretty damn good. pretty damn good, 70%. And I think in the US it's like 55%. So more than half of the population is already vaccinated. I'm fully vaccinated because and I thank the Lord. I do thank the Lord that I did not get COVID-19. That has been a blessing. That's been a blessing. But yeah, so the Bahamas is towards the bottom, and I'm hopeful, I'm prayerful that it will increase in the coming weeks, and that people will just, you know, just say, let me just get vaccinated, because it really, we have to get everything back to normal. And the way to do that really is just to have a higher percentage of people immunized. But just take the necessary precautions, and I honestly think that you should be fine. You will have an experience of a lifetime if you go there. The Bahamas is beautiful this time of year. It's beautiful year round, but especially in the summertime when it's nice and sunny and you get to enjoy the warm beaches and everything. And of course, I also want to say, you don't have to go to Nassau. You don't have to go to Nassau. Like the Bahamas, we have 700 islands and keys. All aren't inhabited, but we have quite a number of islands in the southern portion of the country, or in the central portion that you can go to. You don't have to go to Nassau. You can go to Exuma. You can go to Eleuthera. You can go to Cat Island, which has exquisite beaches and is very serene, very peaceful. So don't just look to Nassau. You could do a day trip in Nassau if you want to do a day trip in Nassau, or 2 days in Nassau and be like, okay, that's enough of the crowd. Let me go over here. And that's even better for you guys, because then you don't even have to go out of your way to social distance. It'll naturally happen for you, because there are fewer Bahamians on those islands. So keep that in mind too. Like island hop. That way, you know, you get to see the island, you get to see the country more. You get to see the country more, and it's to me a lot safer. But I hope I was a helpful resource today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Like I said, I had quite a number of people who hit me up, and I said I thought this would be a really good topic this week, because this is something that's being discussed heavily in the Bahamas right now as well. And I know lots of people are ready to go. They want to go to the Bahamas, and I'm so grateful and thankful for you guys. We need the tourism, trust me, we really, really do. But you're gonna have the vacation of a lifetime. And be sure to check out my other videos too. If you do plan to go to Nassau or Exuma or wherever, I have tons of videos that talk about things to do on other islands and places to visit, foods to eat. Did I do one on foods to eat? No, I'm gonna do that one. I have to definitely do that one, because you guys need to know about some Bahamian food. I definitely have to do a video on Bahamian food, but there's so much to do. And again, consider island hopping, and just be safe on your travels. I'll see you guys next Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at thisbahamiangyal, on Facebook at thisbahamiangyal, and on my blog, www.thisbahamiangyal.com. Lots of wonderful information. It's a wonderful resource for you guys. If you can't get to, you don't have the time to watch a video here, you can definitely read my article on my blog. So be sure to go to the blog and sign up for the newsletter while you're there. It's a monthly newsletter. I don't have the time to do more than a month, not at this stage. So I won't spam you guys. So sign up for the newsletter, and definitely again go to my blog, www.thisbahamiangyal.com. I love you guys, and thanks so much for watching. And thank you guys, all of you guys and dolls who reached out to me in DM to ask me about this. Thank you so much for that, and I'll see you guys next week Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Love you. Bye.